I am fascinated by Damon Albarn. Initially packaged as a pretty boy, it was not until the advent of Gorillaz that his true self emerged. A deeply eccentric workaholic, or in the words of former foe, now friend Noel Gallagher, mad as a box of frogs. In fact, each member of Blur is a bit odd in a charmingly English way. One of the rewards of watching the band age is seeing them transform from pop pin-ups to the most unlikely of superstars. Alex James is obsessed with cheese, Dave Rowntree can't make up his mind to be a rocker or a politician, and Graham Coxon is, well, Graham Coxon. It's Gorillaz we will be looking at today though, and specifically the track Rhinestone Eyes from the highly touted Plastic Beach. Rhinestone Eyes is a very simple song. It begins with 4 bars of the basic percussion track, which alone is pretty interesting to listen to. Half rapping over some finger-picked guitar, Albarn uses a vocal effect similar to GarageBand's telephone feature. I've recorded myself singing these opening lines with this effect. I'm a scary gargoyle on a tower that you made with plastic power. Your rhinestone eyes are like factories far away.
I'm a scary gargoyle on a tower that you made with plastic power. Your rhinestone eyes are like factories far away.
Now, you may think that the great Gorillaz would not stoop to such a cheap software as GarageBand, but in the same year, Albarn recorded an entire album, The Fall, on GarageBand. So who knows? Albarn uses this telephone feature quite a lot, including on Gorillaz' biggest tune, Feel Good Inc.
Down on a camel's back. They just have to go 'cause they don't know where.
In a way, Albarn is taking himself out of the spotlight, obscuring himself so that his many collaborators can shine. A simple drum fill before the chorus opens the song up, makes it feel bigger, more expansive than it actually is. Said chorus is pretty much just a catchy synth riff. The word on the street is that Albarn considered Rhinestone Eyes unfinished, and indeed the track has an underdone quality, charming in its own way. A more polished version would surely have removed Albarn's wordless moanings, which sound like he is looking for something, looking for what the chorus hook will be. There must have been a temptation to put more in, but the emptiness of the chorus works fine. Time for a digression. I can't make a video on Damon Albarn without addressing the silly feud between Blur and Oasis. I have always been an Oasis guy. I am not trying to convert anybody, but I do want to use the beef to point out a weakness in Albarn's writing that is not often spoken about. This weakness always stuck out to me on the Blur song Bank Holiday. Notice how the rhythm guitar and vocal melody are rhythmically identical. There is no counterpoint. Albarn commits a similar sin on one of Blur's most acclaimed songs, The Universal, where the chorus melody is duplicated by the choir in the background. Perhaps the most famous instance occurs on the song Tender, where Graham Coxon sings over a simple guitar lick. In this case, the tune is so pretty that they get away with it, but it is still an inelegant move. I can't think of Oasis ever doing something like that. It would be if, like, on the master plan, we got a string section that went like. Or if on Rhinestone Eyes, Albarn sang Rhinestone eyes, oh 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 rhinestone eyes. I listened to Blur and Gorillaz for the exciting sense of adventure, the feeling that anything could happen at any moment, not for the smoothness of Albarn's melodies. In that category, Oasis are king. I am not interested in the concept of the plastic beach. It is, I take, something to do with climate change, which was probably still known as global warming back in 2010. I am more intrigued by the question of how a virtual band expresses real human emotions without ceasing to be a virtual band. Now and then, Gorillaz managed to pull off a kind of Pinocchio effect. We get the sense that 2D and the gang are frustrated by their inhuman form. This is most evident on the 2023 track Skinny Little Ape.
Don't be sad for me, I'm a cartoon G.
Or the simplified heartache of El Manana, aka if Hal from 2001 had a crush. Of course, human beings do not have eyes made of rhinestone. It could be that 2D is singing to another human facsimile, like a doll, trying his best to express love, but of course it doesn't come naturally to him. Rhinestone Eyes features no break between chorus and verse, no middle eight, no bridge section. It maintains interest by gradually building as the track moves along. A lot of this layer building is simple, a few extra synth lines, some background vocals, yet so vivid is the Here We Go Again and It's Electric sample that you could be forgiven for thinking them another guest feature on an album stuffed with them. Another simple trick comes at the beginning of verse 3, when the drums cut out briefly.
Helicopters fly over the beach, same time every day, same routine. Clear target in summer, and skies are blue.
Here's a tip for budding songwriters. Find an element of your song to remove temporarily. Like after the second chorus of Girls and Boys, when the killer bass line is suddenly removed, making it extra satisfying when it comes back in.
Girls who are boys, who like boys, to be girls who do boys like their girls, who do girls like their boys.
Or on Dare, where the drums are pulled out for a sec on verse 1. Another digression. I want to swoop backwards and talk about the Blur song On Your Own, because Albarn has claimed that this is a kind of proto-Gorillaz track. Go back, listen, and if you're anything like me, initially you won't see the connection. Vocally, Albarn is front and centre with his distinctly British stylings. One of the most clever decisions Albarn made with Gorillaz was to tone down the Britishness, and of course that paid off with big success in the States. On Your Own kind of proves my point that Albarn is not a great melodist, as we get a pretty much one-note chorus.
So take me home, don't leave me alone, I'm not that good, but I'm not that bad.
The appeal of the track, like with Gorillaz, is the array of weird sounds that pop in and out. Sounds so odd they can only be described through analogy, i.e. the thing at the start that sounds like a cat meowing. Trailer Park from an album On may be a better candidate for the first ever Gorillaz tune. It has something of a trip-hop beat. Damon makes some vague stabs at rapping, though elsewhere his hip-hop crush comes off a little lame. Most important of all though, this is the first instance to my knowledge of Damon using, you guessed it, the telephone vocal. Both Trailer Park and On Your Own are tracks that feel experimental, difficult listens to some ears. While with Blur, Albarn never managed to bring his many musical interests together into something that a general audience could enjoy. One of the great achievements of Gorillaz is that Albarn created a project both forward-thinking and eminently accessible. I'm not sure how he did it. One last thing. Lately, I have slowly but surely been getting into the tangled maze of home recording. I recently recorded a piece that must have been unconsciously inspired by all the research I did for this video. That's right, I couldn't resist trying out the telephone vocal myself. Here you can enjoy my track, Insomnia. Also, like and subscribe. Insomnia, 'cause I could always count on ya. I never had insomnia, 'cause I could always count on ya.